One more zero. China's version of the THAAD with a range of 3,000 kilometers makes its debut at the Zhuhai Airshow. The launcher of the Hongqi-19 anti-ballistic missile system is publicly unveiled for the first time. Its positioning is similar to that of the American THAAD system. The Zhuhai Airshow will be held next Tuesday 12th. At present, the participating equipment and weapons of various countries are being moved to the vicinity of the venue one after another. Among them, the launcher of the Hongqi-19 HQ-19 anti-ballistic missile system is also publicly exposed for the first time. Its positioning is similar to that of the American THAAD and is used to complement the existing Hongqi-9 HQ-9 and Hongqi-20 to HQ-22 systems of the Chinese People's Liberation Army and enhance the defense capability of China's land-based air defense missile network. According to some in the Chinese mainland, the Hongqi-19 has an interception range of 3,000 kilometers and the ability to intercept hypersonic weapons. In comparison, the range of the THAAD system is 200 kilometers, a difference of 15 times according to Military Watch. The positioning of the Hongqi-19 has many similarities with the American THAAD system and the sea-based Aegis system equipped with Standard Missile 3 SM-3. It aims to intercept medium-range and medium-long-range ballistic missiles and missiles in the mid-course flight stage outside the atmosphere. Similar to the THAAD, the Hongqi-19 is believed to use terminal interception vehicles for mid-course interception. These vehicles can perform high-speed maneuvering operations at extremely high altitudes through vector nozzle technology to overcome the challenge of difficult aerodynamic control at this altitude. It uses a kinetic energy warhead and relies on direct impact to intercept incoming targets, instead of relying on explosive warheads, which requires extremely high accuracy. The system is also believed to use a large-angle cold launch technology to reduce the pressure on the launcher. One of the most notable features of the Hongqi-19 is its alleged interception range of 3,000 kilometers, which enables it to intercept incoming missiles as far as Japan or the Philippines without leaving Chinese territory. Although the number of medium-range and medium-long-range ballistic missiles deployed by China's potential opponents is currently limited, as the Western camp and its allies are committed to developing a variety of new hypersonic missiles. The future deployment of the Hongqi-19 may become more important. China currently leads in this technical field. The development of such an advanced exo-atmospheric land-based anti-missile system may lead to derivative systems being integrated onto Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy destroyers in the future, thereby intercepting missile threats in the high seas. Similar to the ability provided by Standard Missile 3 for the navies of the United States, Japan, and South Korea, the performance of the Hongqi-19 exceeds expectations. It can intercept hypersonic missiles that even the United States doesn't have, blocking the way for the United States. The Zhuhai Airshow hasn't started yet, but China Central Television's military channel has actually begun to disclose the Hongqi-9 and Hongqi-19 air defense and anti-missile interceptor missiles on November 7th. The Hongqi-19 anti-missile interceptor missile and the Hongqi-9C air defense missile were officially exposed in China Central Television's military program. This is a case of official leakage. Regarding these two officially leaked air defense missiles, the Hongqi-9C air defense missile, in my opinion, there is nothing much to say about the Hongqi-9C. This missile had already made an appearance at the 14th Zhuhai Airshow the year before last. It was just that, at that time, it was placed together with the Hongqi-9B without a sign, so everyone didn't know its specific model. In August this year, China Central Television reported on the news of a ground-to-air missile brigade of the Central Theater Command Air Force conducting live-fire target practice. In the news, this miniature version of the Hongqi-9 finally made a partial appearance. Everyone can get a glimpse of the missile's appearance from the video of China's central television. Later, there was finally a piece of insider news that said this missile was marked with a number, ADK-9C on the launch tube, meaning Air Force Ground-to-Air Missile No. 9. Third improved version. Without a doubt, it is the Hongqi-19 air defense missile. Now China's central television has finally officially disclosed it, taking the opportunity of the Zhuhai Airshow. To some extent, it can be regarded as boarding first and then buying the ticket later. As for the aspects of improvement of the Hongqi-19, its specific performance, and the missions it undertakes, judging from the appearance of the Hongqi-19, this missile is basically a reduced version of the Hongqi-9B. The appearance is almost unchanged. Only the diameter is reduced. And even the length is not reduced. It looks a bit sharper. I originally thought that this missile would adopt improvement measures such as removing the fins. Now it seems that there are none, proving that the improvement of the Hongqi-9C is relatively conservative. In terms of specific performance, since the body of the Hongqi-9C has been reduced to ensure its range performance and guidance performance, it is expected that the Hongqi-9C will use improvement measures such as weight reduction with composite material casing, high-performance rocket engine to maintain the total impulse of the engine, and use phased array guidance radar antenna to maintain the ability to capture targets. I tend to think that this Hongqi-9C is more like the 48 and 60M rather than being similar to the 9M96. And after improvement, the Hongqi-9B is more like the 40 and 6. Of course, its range performance still needs to be seen at the Zhuhai Airshow site in terms of the mission it undertakes. It is estimated that the Hongqi-9C, like the Hongqi-9B, undertakes the task of striking aerodynamic targets rather than mainly undertaking tasks such as terminal anti-tactical missile tasks like the 9M96. However, both the Hongqi-9B and the Hongqi-9C have a certain terminal anti-missile capability, judging from the shutdown speed of their engines. They should have the ability to strike short-range ballistic missiles with a range of 300 to 600 kilometers. But relying on these two types of missiles to strike medium-range or medium-short-range ballistic missiles is out of the question. They are too slow. So, in general, I feel that the equipment positioning of the Hongqi-9C is more like a kind of equipment launched after fully considering the main combat oblique distance interval of ground-based air defense. It aims at the main combat oblique distance, improves the firepower density of ground-based air defense battalions, and has relatively high cost performance. After equipping with the Hongqi-9C, the firepower density of a Hongqi-9 ground-based air defense battalion has suddenly doubled. Isn't it wonderful? As for things like adopting a direct force control system and adopting a kinetic energy warhead, forget it. If you use these things, its cost will go up, and it will be specialized for anti-missile purposes, losing their original intention of developing the Hongqi-9C. At the same time, in theory, there is no problem at all for the Hongqi-9C to be installed on the Type 05 to DN, Type 055 destroyers. If it can't achieve for missiles in one silo, at least it can achieve to missiles in one silo. This is also of great significance for improving the air defense and anti-missile capabilities of our Navy's destroyers. In short, there is nothing much to say about the Hongqi-9C. Its appearance is public. Its main improvement direction is predictable. The improvement direction focuses on cost performance. The task it undertakes is more like a supplement to the Hongqi-9B rather than one for air defense and the other for anti-missile. It is certain that it is beneficial to improve the firepower density of ground-based air defense battalions. Hongqi-19 air defense missile. In contrast, everyone is paying attention to the Hongqi-19 anti-missile interceptor missile officially disclosed by China's central television. Speaking of the Hongqi-19, I really misjudged it. Looking at the photos before, I thought that the diameter of the launch tube was not large, and I naturally estimated a data of about 40 centimeters in the diameter of the launch tube unexpectedly, when China Central Television took a shot, and there happened to be soldiers of the Hongqi-19 unit in front of the launch tube in the shot. In comparison, whoever said that the length of the Hongqi-19 is only more than 6 meters and the diameter of the launch tube is only 40 centimeters. The diameter of this launch tube is almost 1/3 of a person's height. I think the diameter of the Hongqi-19 launch tube may be close to 50 centimeters or more. Accordingly, this means that it has a first-stage rocket engine with a larger diameter. Its length cannot be only 6 meters long. Judging from the proportion between the launch tube and the soldiers, its length may be more than 7 meters. In short, both the diameter and length of the Hongqi-19 greatly exceed the THAAD. Instead, it is more similar to the THAAD that the United States has only on PPT. This is the real successor of the THAAD, of course. What is even more remarkable is the performance of the Hongqi-19 introduced by China Central Television. According to China Central Television's introduction, the Hongqi-19 not only has regional air defense and anti-missile capabilities, but even has a certain ability to counter hypersonic aircraft. The regional air defense and anti-missile capability is relatively easy to understand. The Hongqi-19 is equipped with advanced long-range warning radars and phased array fire control radars, and it must have the ability to engage multiple targets. But the ability to counter hypersonic aircraft is quite astonishing. We all know that compared with typical ballistic missiles, the trajectory characteristics of hypersonic aircraft have the following characteristics. First, the ballistic trajectory in the middle of flight is relatively flat. After a ballistic missile is launched, it follows a parabolic trajectory, which is divided into the active stage, gliding stage, and re-entry stage. However, after a hypersonic aircraft is launched, it does not follow a parabolic trajectory. In the middle stage, it travels in near space. The near-space trajectory is often just above the lower intercept limit of the interceptor missile. If the lift-to-drag ratio of the interceptor missile is insufficient, it is difficult to implement complex approach maneuvers in the lower atmosphere. This does not even take into account that hypersonic aircraft will also implement complex orbital change maneuvers in the middle stage, such as implementing large-scale side-slip or M-shaped ballistic orbital change trajectories. If the lift-to-drag ratio performance of the interceptor missile is not good, as long as it follows the orbital changes of the hypersonic aircraft a few times, its own energy will be exhausted. Second, complex maneuvers can be implemented in the final stage of flight. Due to the high lift-to-drag ratio of hypersonic aircraft, the aerodynamic characteristics of its final stage of flight are more similar to those of a high-speed aircraft. It can implement maneuvers such as barrel rolls, side slips, and sharp turns that an aircraft can perform. This makes the final stage ballistic trajectory of hypersonic aircraft even more difficult to predict than its middle stage. And considering the final stage speed of hypersonic aircraft, such as a typical medium-range ballistic missile, when it enters the bottom of the atmosphere and is fully aerodynamically decelerated, the missile's speed may still be more than 6 times the speed of sound. That is, more than 1,500 meters per second. Imagine how difficult it is to intercept a target flying at 6 times the speed of sound and still performing barrel rolls and sharp turns. Ordinary air defense missiles using high explosive warheads are almost impossible to stop such targets. The problem is the same. They are too slow. If you use an anti-missile interceptor missile to intercept, if it is too slow, you won't be able to intercept. If it is too fast, you still need to have good enough lift-to-drag ratio performance. Otherwise, if you can't keep up with the maneuvers of the hypersonic aircraft, You also need to ensure that your reaction speed is fast enough. After all, the converging speed of the two sides is around 12 to 15 times the speed of sound, at a speed of 4 to 5,000 meters per second. If it is a little slower, it still won't work. It is precisely because of this that the high performance of the Hongqi-19 anti-missile interceptor missile is even more prominent. We only mentioned before that the Hongqi-19 experimentally intercepted long-range ballistic missiles. But according to the news publicly disclosed by China's Central Television this time, it is said that the converging speed of the Hongqi-19 interceptor missile can actually reach 6 kilometers per second. This speed is astonishing, probably meaning that the shutdown speed of the Hongqi-19 is around 4,000 meters per second. Seriously, this performance has exceeded our previous estimate of 3,500 meters per second for the THAAD Standard Missile 3 Block 1B, and initially caught up with the level of Standard Missile 3 Block 2. At this speed, there is no problem in intercepting medium-range ballistic missiles in the middle stage. And there is even less of a problem in intercepting long-range ballistic missiles in the final stage. Just this one aspect shows that the performance of the Hongqi-19 exceeds expectations. We can completely consider it as the most advanced mid-course anti-missile interceptor missile in the world at present, completely outclassing similar products of the United States and Russia. As for intercepting hypersonic aircraft, I mainly don't know what level of hypersonic aircraft the Hongqi-19 has intercepted. Hypersonic aircraft are also divided into tactical and strategic levels. The total impulse of the solid rocket engines used is different. The shutdown speed is different. And the hypersonic gliding performance is also different. Previously, there was a scene of Ukraine using the Patriot air defense system to battle Russia's Hongqi. But since the Hongqi-19 can intercept hypersonic aircraft and it can intercept medium and long-range ballistic missiles in the middle stage, I tend to think that it can at least intercept tactical-level hypersonic aircraft like the X-47M to Hongqi. As for intercepting hypersonic aircraft like the L or HW that uses a medium-range ballistic missile as a solid booster, it still lacks some strength. However, being able to intercept the X-47M2 is already very good. After all, look at the American PAC-3 CRI. Intercepting the X-47M2 is also a bumpy process. The fact that our interceptor missile can intercept it is our ability to sum up in the end. The performance of the Hongqi-19 seems to have exceeded our expectations. It not only has the ability to intercept medium-range ballistic missiles, but it seems possible to try using it to intercept intercontinental ballistic missiles in the final stage. To some extent, the Hongqi-19 reflects our profound skills in the field of anti-missile, since the Hongqi-19 is already such a formidable player. I can't even imagine how strong the performance of China's subsequent anti-missile interceptor missiles will be. Probably that's it.